everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about how I dealt with two different curl patterns while I was transitioning from relaxed to natural. I started transitioning in, I think, 2012 when my hair was really short, when it was stretched. So it was kind of hard for me to like put it back in buns and things like that because it didn't really fit. So for a while I just stuck with braid outs, right? Because it was the easiest thing for me to do to my hair. I knew how to braid. I knew what kind of braid pattern I wanted, and when I took it on, I would just put it in a low bun and it would just be a nice wavy low bun. I straightened my hair for a while when I first began transitioning, which kind of worked against me, obviously, because I ended up getting heat damage. So I had a little bit of relaxed ends left, I think, and then I ended up having to start my transition over again because I had so much heat damage that my curl pattern was so altered that I had like multiple textures or multiple curl patterns in my hair, which I have multiple curl patterns in my hair now, but it's totally different when you have all of this frizz and stringiness involved with heat damage. So I began trying every single style, right? I did twist outs, braid outs, roller sets, Bantu knots, you name it, I tried it, except for curl formers. I never tried curl formers because they were kind of expensive and I didn't really want to like put out the money for that. But it's good to keep trying until you find something that you like so that you can have something to fall back on when you try a new style and you don't like that one. You know what I'm saying? So keep trying, keep trying. A style that would be really worth trying is a roller set, especially if you're having a really hard time letting go of your straightener, because you sort of get that sleek look that you would get when you straighten your hair. It's obviously different. For me, it was really hard to get my roots, but if it's hard for you to get your roots, you can always stretch them and blow dry them a little bit, and then you can do the roller set off of that. Once you find your favorite wrap lotion and you like your favorite size rollers and what technique, how many can go on each side, what can fit under your hooded dryer, once you find all that out, roller sets are actually a lot of fun, and they're a really great style to do when you just are fiending for that straightener. The other problem that people have with roller sets is their edges, and you can do that with the blow dryer, kind of like I said with the roots. But also when I would go to bed, I would take some gel or edge control, but preferably edge control because gel can kind of get your hair a little wavy if it has water in it, is to just really lay down your edges really well before you go to bed with like a boar bristle brush or something like that, and then wake up in the morning and they are really smooth. Another great style is box braids. Leave your hair alone. Like, it's a lot of manipulation to put your hair in those braids, but then once your hair is in braids, you just totally leave your hair alone. You don't mess with it unless you're like me and you take it out and put it back in and take them out and put them back in, because I'm just really indecisive and they get really frizzy on me. Make sure that you're still washing or rinsing like with apple cider vinegar to make sure that it's staying clean. And also don't forget that you should not neglect the hair that is underneath the synthetic hair. So making sure that you're doing like leave-in conditioners or something like that. But it's a good style to have your hair in so that you don't have to really worry about two different curl patterns. But warning, if you've never done braids or anything that involves synthetic hair, I would recommend rinsing the hair in apple cider vinegar. Like, just fill up some water in your bathtub and rinse the hair, or not rinse the hair, soak the hair, and then after that just like rinse it out. You can wash it if you want to, but just rinse it out, because I had a horrible allergic reaction to all of the chemicals that are used, or that is used in synthetic hair. So warning, you might want to do that. After I did that, I was totally fine. You can also do twist outs and braid outs. Those are great because if you mess up your hair that day, that night you can just retwist or rebraid. I feel like they are a great style because you can do a lot of other styles with that. Like, you can use it to stretch your hair, and then you can do like buns and pigtails and braids and whatever else you want to do. Doing twist outs and braid outs also gives you the opportunity to constantly moisturize and seal your hair. Sometimes twist outs and braid outs for me seem like the easiest style. Blowouts are also a really good style because like twist outs and braid outs, your hair is stretched, so you can kind of do whatever sort of style you want. I was obsessed with blowouts for a while because I was doing like Dutch braids, aka big cornrows. I also added synthetic hair when I was doing those because it was like, when my hair is blow dried and because it's a little bit longer, it's kind of stiff. so it will sort of like move with me with my head. So I would add some synthetic hair to kind of weigh it down a little bit more, and that worked out perfectly. But whatever style you do with the blowout, you can make it last like a few days. With the Dutch braids or cornrows, I could make those last for like 4 days and then I can like redo it again. Probably could make it last a week if I really wanted to. Flexi rods and curl formers are also a really great way to get big, fluffy, healthy looking curls. They are soft and bouncy, and you can continue stretching that style every single night when you go to sleep when you wrap it, so that it's less bouncy and curly and maybe just a little bit more like wavy if you want that. I didn't really mess around with these styles too much personally, just because whatever can fit under my hooded dryer is the style that I'm gonna do. Like, that is my rule of thumb, because I don't have one that's just like sitting over my head. It's like I have to tie it around my head. So whatever fits under there is a style that I'm gonna do. I did do the Flexi Rods one time, and I loved the way it came out. My Flexi Rods just smell really weird, so I never used them again. It smells like a factory. Just another good option if you're looking for something else to do. Bantu Knots are also a really good style. You can wear the Bantu Knots out in public if you're feeling like good girl gone bad Riri. However, they are incredibly adorable when you do actually take them down. Just don't forget to separate them unless you want to look like Medusa. And they give you this perfect curl. Like, it's almost, for me, mine were like a little bit looser, so I absolutely loved it. I've seen people that have really tight Bantu knots. It depends on the way you twist the hair and how big your sections are and things like that, but they are really fun to play with. They take a long time to dry if you're doing it on wet hair. The first time I ever did it, I did it on a stretch style, so it was a braid out. So it wasn't soaking wet. Obviously the more wet your hair is, the longer it's gonna take to dry. There was a fuzz. But specifically because Bantu knots are so tightly wrapped that it's hard for them to dry quickly. So also just remember that if you decide to try them. My suggestion is, if you don't know how to braid, I would learn how. It's not a necessity, but it might make things easier. It can be a little less frustrating during this process while you're transitioning, because braiding is one of the styles that really does hide both textures or both curl patterns. There are plenty of hairstyles that you can do with braids. Like, for example, you don't have to actually do any of these styles. You can just wait for your hair to dry, and you could like braid your bangs back and put it in a low bun or something like that. You don't have to actually do any of these sort of stretch styles, but I think, and even if you didn't want to braid, you could always twist, but learning how to braid might be really helpful to you, and if not, just twist them up, girl. If you can twist them if you don't know how to braid. Of course, it's obviously possible to transition without, you know, knowing how to braid. I just get lots of comments on my videos that are like, oh, I don't know how to braid. I can't do this hairstyle. So it just might be a little bit easier if you find out how. But again, if you can't, you can substitute for twists. So that's all I have for this video. I want you guys to actually comment down below some of your favorite hairstyles, whether it be like a style that you wear every day or something that you like to do to protect your ends or whatever. You wear weave, write down that you wear weave, whatever it is, I want to hear it. On one of my last videos, it was like a very good community. Everybody came together and was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for telling me that and sharing your hair regimen, because now I'm gonna try that. Like, I love that. I just thrive off of that. And then also, if you want to ask any sort of questions, I want to be answering questions in a Q&A video. So if you post questions down below, I'm going to save them. I'm not going to answer them. I'm going to save them, and I'm going to put them in a Q&A video. They don't have to be natural hair questions, I guess. They could be like about anything. Let's say anything. And then I can, like, if you want to do your natural hair questions, obviously add them in there, and then I will answer those too. Hope this video was helpful for some of you. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Comment down below. Thumbs up this video if you feel like you enjoyed these type of videos, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.